we're going to be talking water polo fundamentals. And to do so, we're going to bring in from Florida special guest Ron Usher. You're going to like it. It's about an hour long. Let's get to work. So, Ron, you've coached water polo at the junior college level and high school level and club level. Tell me a little bit about your background.
So I'm a swim coach, and that's really my background. I think I'm a good swim coach. I think I'm a great swim instructor, and I think I'm an adequate water polo coach. I have coached junior college. I don't think I did a great job. I coached high school. I did an okay job. I learned a lot, and I've coached club, and I learned a lot coaching club. I met my friend Coach Sasha, and he taught me a lot about the game and a lot about fundamentals, and he answered all the questions I had since I played in high school. And uh, so using his skills and knowledge, I've been able to apply it to my swimming background, and I see the mistakes that clubs are making and coaches are making, and it's the same mistakes I made. I don't want anybody to repeat them.
And on the fundamentals, what are these mistakes?
So the first question I asked Coach Sasha when I met him, we were sitting there over for a beer, having a great beer. And I said, so tell me, Coach, does the egg beater do circles, or does it go back and forth like this? And he goes, in his Ukrainian accent, Americans, you guys do circles, and that's why you suck. And he was absolutely right. So the first thing is the egg beater is not circles. And you look at 90% of the teams, they're doing the egg beater in a circle, and it works. It keeps them above the water, and it's actually easier to do, and it takes less energy to do the circles than it does to do the thrusting egg beater. But you are limited in how far you can go. That's the main thing. You look at the Europeans, the best players, they are not doing circles. Not one of them. They are doing thrusting, powerful egg beater kicks.
So what do you mean limited? So just in the extension of the jump, or in their level of play?
Everything. The way they move, the speed they move, the way they can get up, how hard they can shoot, how fast they can cover the distance. If I've got to drop back and cover 5 meters with the circular kick, it'll never happen. With the powerful egg beater kick, you can cover distance, everything. And another aspect of the egg beater kick, when it's done correctly, is the body position. So watch most teams practice, and they're facing each other, just like we're facing each other here, shoulders, shoulders, and we're passing the ball back and forth. And then we put the ball back behind our heads, and then we throw, and we're doing all this great stuff and just having a wonderful time. But we're not working on body position. And until you can do the egg beater correctly and get the body position correctly, you are going to be very limited in your success. And I see that all the high schools that in the Bay Area, that's where I coached, in San Jose Bay Area. But good high schools did it okay. The great high schools did it. 90% of their players would do it. The players that couldn't do it, where they were like the 7th, 8th man. And then if you look at age group, water polo, 8 and unders, 10 and unders, 12 and unders, the coaches that are teaching it correctly, they're successful. And if you're not working on it, your kids won't get it.
And so by that, you mean the body position needs to be not face to face, shoulder to shoulder, belly button to belly button.
Yeah, I call it. There's 3 body positions that are key in water polo. the tripod, which is where you're just going to catch the ball and shoot, and that's more vertical. Then there's the side spider, which is where you're on your side with your hips up. And a lot of funny stories about that. But if you're on your side with your hips up from that position, if I'm on my left side here, then I can move this way, or I can get going swimming right away. If I'm this way, it's very, very hard to start swimming. So being on your side is really important. And that means your legs are split. So if you're on your left side, your left leg would be forward at about 10 o'clock. Your right leg would be back about 4 o'clock. And it's that split stance, that split egg beater, which is key to playing good water polo.
Those were two positions, or did you give all three? The tripod on your
tripod,
side,
the side spider on your left side, and the side spider on your right side. So you got to be able to do it on both sides, because for offense, usually you're going to be on your left side if you're a right-hander. For defense, you got to be able to go both sides. So you got to be comfortable on your side with the lead leg forward. For most right-handers, I like the left leg to be forward at about 10 o'clock, right leg back about 4 o'clock. If they're on their right side, the right leg's going to be at 2 o'clock. Their back leg will be at about 7 o'clock, 7 or 6 or 8, 7 or 8. Can't tell time here.
and so when you're warming up and just passing the ball, you look for the players then to be on their side more.
Yeah, 100%, or at least tripod. So, for instance, I'll back up a little bit. If the player's warming up, pass the ball, so you got to warm up your arms, and they just sit square and pass back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. From this position, if the pass had any velocity, when the pass came into my hand, I'd have to fall back. And then how can I throw accurately or quickly if I'm on catching my balance or on my back? Or how many times have you seen kids catch a ball? Ball comes into their hand and they have to juggle it, toss it up, try to catch the balance. It's because their legs aren't underneath them. If you have your right leg back and your left leg forward, now I'm have balance. As the ball comes into my hand, I can go back and I'm balanced. I'm ready to go. When you, right from the beginning, when you have your kids warming up, don't let them face each other and put their legs at 6 and 9 o'clock. Make sure their front leg is forward, their right leg is back, out wide, gives them more balance, and they're working on the kick right from the beginning. Don't have them do any of this. The only time I would have kids doing this is it's easy if you're working on hand-eye coordination, you have little 8-year-olds who can't catch the ball. Then you can do this because you're just focusing on catching the ball. But if you're warming up and you're not, and learning how to catch the ball with your hand is no longer an issue, your legs have to be in that 10-4 position all the time, because it's hard. It takes practice. And if you don't practice it from the beginning, you're not going to practice it. You're not going to get it in a game.
And then what do you mean by the tripod position? That's, you got two legs, but where's that third? Is that your arm?
So the left leg is at, go ahead, Mark. Where's the left leg?
Well, it's in the front.
It's in the front, and let's just call it 10 o'clock. Okay. 11 o'clock works. 10 o'clock, I like over-exaggerating because I typically work with younger kids. 12 o'clock would even work, but that starts getting narrow. So let's just call it 10 o'clock. Right leg is back at 4 o'clock. Your left hand is sculling at about 10 o'clock out here. It's really hard to look at myself and talk about my left hand, and I see it's my right side. I'm really twisted around here. So your hand's over here. This is sculling, and this is giving you balance. So it's the front leg, the back leg, and the side hand sculling, and that gives you support for whatever you need to do. You are in this position. You can catch it. If the ball's coming from your side, you can see the ball, catch the ball, and shoot. You can cross face catch here and come across and do it. It's tripod. It's fundamental. When you're going to shoot, you shoot from that tripod. You see kids throw, and they throw really hard. They try to throw really hard and they can't. It's because they don't have their legs underneath them. And those great shooters, the top water polo players, are throwing that ball 60 miles an hour plus. They're not throwing it with their arm. They're throwing it with their legs and their body. And it's because that right leg is back. They can do a great big thrust and get their whole body moving forward and just throwing that ball with incredible velocity and accuracy.
Excellent. So how do you teach it? You got a little kid that has done a bunch of laps. He's a swimmer. All right, now we're going to try to transition from breaststroke to egg beater.
Yeah, let's go over breaststroke first, because you can't do egg beater unless you got a breaststroke. The way I teach breaststroke kick is you got to make the L, which is where you do the dorsal flexion. You pull your toes and the top of your foot towards your knees. That's the L. Then you got to make the R, where you're going to put your point, which is for rotation, out to the side. If you cannot get these two positions with your feet, the L and the R, getting them out to the side, you're not going to have a good breaststroke kick. So that's the first thing I like teaching on land, and going through a typical swim progression of doing on land, doing it on the side of the pool, doing it in a chair, doing dry land, just to practice this. So many kids don't have the strength in their tibialis to hold that L, and they have weak hip flexors, so they can't make the R. So you need to practice it on land. Once they get that, that's the first step, and that's the most important step to doing breaststroke kick. Once they get that, they can start working on the egg beater. You'll also find that that circle is easier for them to learn, so they tend to go to it. It takes more coordination. It's kind of like patting your head and rubbing your stomach. It takes coordination to do that. I like teaching it on land. They learn it on land. We can practice it, and then we go into the pool. We hold onto the wall. We take so much learning to swim is balance. So we take the balance equation out of it. We give them a lot of support. They hold the wall. They can practice their legs. They don't have to worry about drowning. They don't have to worry about putting their face in water. Their legs are up. They can concentrate it. Then I let them hold a water polo ball. You know how it's always against the rules to hold a water polo ball? Let them do it. It's because they're focusing on the coordination, the neurological coordination of moving their legs, and it's hard, and they get tired. And when they get tired, doing more is not going to work. So let them rest. Balls are great to hold on to, even pool noodles. I prefer to see them do five seconds of perfect and then rest, because it's neurological. It's not a conditioning thing. For your older kids, yeah, then it becomes conditioning once they got it. But most of the teams that I see, when I see 14, 15, 16-year-olds out there, they don't have it correctly. So I would take them back to stage one to do the kick. The other thing that, because water polo is such a complex game, and some coaches disagree with me. I know the European coaches say that they put their kids in the water and they do nothing but kick and egg beater and body position stuff for the first 2 years. That wouldn't work with American kids. I don't think it works with kids in general. They'd be bored to tears. I think there's a lot to the game that they have to practice. So whatever you're doing, whether it's shooting or passing with a partner, or you're working on 6-on-5, you still want to be working, making sure that they're rested enough to do the kick correctly.
Excellent. And then do you have them do 50s or 25 kicks, or short burst, or kick against a partner? What are some of your conditioning drills for this?
Everything. Yeah, everything. One of my favorite things is to hold the ball out in front and do the kick, do the egg beater going this way. The egg beater, there's really 7 directions you can go with any kick, whether it's breaststroke kick or egg beater. So you got your hips up, you're in a spider or a side spider. You can go forward. You can go backwards. You can go to your left. You can go to your right. You can spin around. You can spin around the other way, and you can go up. And they should learn how to control their bodies without their hands up, and be able to move in all those directions just from their legs. Now, if they're younger and they're new players, yeah, you let them skull. Let them skull and use their hands, because it's hard. It's not only hard physiologically, it's hard neurologically. They have to get some skull on it. But practice moving in all those directions. So that alone will get them tired. And then holding a ball and going across the pool. There's so many great drills. I just don't think that you could go over. You could go over. That's one thing I love about water polo is there's 50 ways to kick across the pool.
And then you put the kids can handle a chair, or they can kick against
As they
a
get better,
partner,
they can handle a chair. Here's a great drill. Hold the ball out in front. Do 4 breaststroke kicks going forward, and then 4 breaststroke kicks trying to get up as high as you can. And then if you're doing it with breaststroke kick, you can do it with 4 egg beater kicks. So you egg beater going forward, egg beater, and then egg beater, egg beater, egg beater, egg beater, and then forward, forward, forward. It's a great drill. You can do that drill with holding the ball with one hand in front. You can do that drill holding the ball behind you. As you're doing it, there's just so many combinations of things, and you need to do the combinations because that's how you dial it in a game. The game's so dynamic and always changing that you have to practice it different ways, as many ways as possible to dial it in.
Yeah, excellent. Okay, so then we were getting the kick going. Then how do you teach the passing and the catching and the ball control?
So my approach is a little bit different. People may not like it, but I'm gonna say what I believe. I believe that catching and throwing are 2 separate things. Being able to pass the ball and being able to catch the ball are 2 different things. And you got to learn how to throw the ball and throw it hard and correctly first before you learn to catch it. So what typically happens is you go in this little happy 3 and 6 position, and you're going back and forth, and you catch the ball. You go, oh, I caught the ball. I'm so happy I caught the ball. And then you go, okay, we're going to do 10 in a row. And they go, oh, I caught 8 in a row. Oh, great, great, great. And they're 5 feet away. When in a game does that ever happen? It's just completely impossible. And then they're practicing these really wimpy passes. So I prefer wet passes 80% of the time. All the kids got to learn how to catch with one hand at one point. They do. But a wet pass is more successful in a scrimmage. It's more successful in a game, and it's more successful in practice. So you pass wet. Now, if I'm going to pass wet to you, Mark, I can put some heat on it. I can make sure I have good form. I can have my shoulder up. I can have my legs in the right position, and I can put some power on that because it's going wet. Now, if you're 9 years old, like the 9-year-old kids I had, if they were trying to do it dry, it'd be funny. I'd throw it as hard as I can at your head. And then it's going to take 15 minutes for them to swim down, get the ball, and come back. But if I throw it wet, the ball picks up, you do a hand transfer, pick it up, then I can throw it wet. Wet passes. It improved my scrimmage performance so much better with my 10Us. It was amazing, absolutely amazing. They went from the beginning of the year to basically never winning a game, and then we placed at junior nationals in the C division, which was pretty good because they were little sneakers who couldn't swim when they first started.
So you like to then get 3 or 5 or 6 kids, and they're going to wet pass to each other around, working on the body.
Wet pass, working on the 4 and the 10 and the 4, the body position, the egg beater, wet passes. When we scrimmage, we do wet passes. You splash to where you want the ball to go. That's the target. And so because the throw comes first. And then at some point, then you can start working on hand positions. Now, some countries may have kids with great hand-eye coordination that can catch the ball. I've seen some inner city kids that were just amazing with it. The kids I coached, they were horrible. I've been an itinerant, adapted physical education teacher. I've seen every year I would see 20 different schools. Every year I would see every class with recess running those classes, and I'd watch them in PE. And let me tell you, kids do not throw well, and they do not know how to catch well. So I like wet passes, working on good form. Let me say something about the form. If you look at a lot of the pictures on the internet of, look at my team, look what we're doing, we're doing this, and I love the promotion of the game, completely love it. But the kids are always like this. The ball's behind their head, they're turned sideways. This is how you throw in baseball. It's not how you throw in water polo. Water polo, my legs are full, my legs are split. 10 o'clock with my front leg, 4 o'clock with my back leg. But my shoulders are square. The arm is here, and when I throw with my body coming forward. It's not an arm throw. If I'm here throwing it to you, Mark, two things are going to happen. One, I'm going to throw the ball and it's going to hit my head. That's not a good thing. Or two, I'm going to have to come around this way. And as I come around this way to throw it, the ball is going to spin sideways and it's not going to go where I go. How many times have you seen that? The ball does not go where they throw. And it's not because the kid is stupid, and it's not because that's where he wanted the ball to go. It's because he had the ball here, and then as he throws, the ball goes across his body. If you got the ball here and you learn to do this, the ball goes straight ahead. You get on, watch the water polo reels, watch the European teams. That's how they're throwing it. And watch shortstops. And third baseman. That's how they throw. Pitchers get back here, they can adjust and everything else. But third basemen, they got to be accurate and square up. They bring their hand up here and they throw with their body.
So that's the throwing and the passing and the wet. What about the receiving of the pass? Well, first off, you're going to have to receive it off the water.
You're going to have to receive it off the water. You're going to have to get good at doing hand transfers, picking the ball up from underneath, pulling it behind your head, or doing a hand transfer from your weak hand to your strong hand. Absolutely. Which is, that's happens way more than getting a dry pass, except at the better levels. Once you're a good player, then yeah, you can do that. I mean, you watch the professionals, the ball's just zipping from hand to hand to hand to hand. But, and I do think with a team, you have to do some of this just to practice hand to hand. You can be on your back. You can do egg beater, just learning how to get the skills of holding the ball and catching the ball. But that comes later. That is hard to do. And I want my team to be successful before they develop this hand skill. My guess is if you started playing water polo at 8 years old, you could have a pretty good throw by the end of the season. So 8 to 9, you could have a pretty good throw. For most kids to be able to catch, it's going to take another 1 to 2 years to be able to get the mechanics of catching and being able to do that in a good body position. What's the definition of a good catch? This is one of Coach Sasha's quotes. The definition of a good throw is that the receiver does not have to adjust. So if my hand's here and the ball comes here, that was a good throw. If my hand's here and the ball comes over here and I have to move my hand and move my body to get the ball, that's not a good throw. You need to be really precise with those throws. And that's going to take a long time. It's going to take 3-4 years. It's pretty much, I think, typical athletic development takes 3 to 4 years before you really start to get it. And then you're always continuing to refine it.
And then the receiver puts a target up. They're either maybe often tapping on the water or, using
in the water if it's
body.
wet, or above or up if it's dry. But if I'm open if I'm wide open, yeah, throw me the ball in my hand. But if the guy is, let's see, I got to get my hand. If the receiver is here, my hand is here, and the bad guy is right here, I don't want the ball here. I want to get the ball away from the bad guy so I can reach out and grab him. I mean, reach out and get to the ball. You don't want to. The wet pass is so much better than a dry pass, and you got to teach it to them. Here's a great little trick for younger kids. You always want them to lead, right? So they're driving. You want them to lead. They don't understand what that looks like. So have them swim holding a hula hoop in front. They're swimming holding a hula hoop, And then as they're going by, everybody tries to throw the ball into the hula hoop. Gives them a great visual representation of what it means to lead the player.
Yeah, so you could have one driver, and then you have 5 guys with a ball.
Yeah,
And they're all
take
gonna-
the five take turns. This guy throws, trying to make it in the hoop. Then this guy throws, and this guy throws, and this guy throws, this guy throws. They make it in the hoop, and then they switch positions and they go the other way. And so they're always trying to lead and they're trying to make it. They see what happens, because a lot of times it'll hit the hula hoop and then go beyond it. So it didn't stay in the hula hoop. Bad pass.
Excellent. Yes. All right. Then, what about just when they get older, or you're starting and you have some skills about receiving the ball? What are some of the things you're looking for besides the legs and the body position? Are there other hand-eye skills, or?
I think at that point, then it becomes more technical and precise, and it's a matter of timing. Another story: watching the Bay Area Championships, and Coach Sasha had said he knew all these kids because he had coached them as they were kids, and now they were all in high school, and it was the championship. I think it was the state champion. It was like the Northern California State Championship. This was a very high level of water polo. And he said it's all a matter of timing. And this guy does not have good timing. And he was one of the best guys in the pool. And I said, what are you talking about? Timing. And the pass came to him. He was like at about the 4, and he was wide open, and the pass came to him, and he didn't get the timing perfect, so that when he caught the ball, he couldn't catch it. He had to juggle it for half a second. He was covered and he missed the shot. The other guy had the timing down. He timed it. The ball came in, he jumped up and he caught the ball, and there was no hesitation, and fired it. It's just pure timing. And getting that timing and knowing how long it takes the ball to cross the pool, how long player A passes to me across the pool, how long player B passes to me. Where does he tend to go? Does he tend to pass it to my head or behind my head where my hand is? I need to know those tendencies, and that starts getting to be a really high level of water polo. And if you start looking at strategy, I'm not your guy. That's my strength is in fundamentals, teaching these fundamentals, making sure they're good. But high level strategy, what do we do on a counterattack, 6 and 5? I'm okay at it. I guarantee you there's hundreds of coaches who are way better than me at teaching strategy.
Well, I find that the defense and the offense and the body positions are really important. So in the fundamentals, when you're playing this, man-to-man defense, what are some of the things that you really want to stress to the younger swimmers?
Side spider. Yeah, side spider, certainly. So if you're right-handed and you are in a side spider with your left shoulder forward and the ball's behind you, and I'm on defense on you, I want to be in a side spider with my right shoulder down and my left arm up, so that way I have the correct arm with you. I don't want to be square up. I don't want to have my butt down here. I want to be in that side spider with my right leg forward, my left leg back, and my hand here, and then I can move with you. Now, the game has really changed. It used to be that you could kind of move your body. Now you almost have to do a spin move, but a spin move is easier from that side spider. I'm here. I can just spin backwards and go away. You have to learn physicality, and the kids love physicality. Typically, kids are not used to being physical anymore. They're not allowed to play tag in recess. They're not allowed to play football in recess or baseball. So kids aren't used to being physical. I love doing physicality drills where back to back and you push against each other, or hands on the shoulders and push against each other. Offense, defensive position, push against each other, hold on to their arms, hold on to their shoulders, and teach them that it's okay to be touched and it's okay to hold and push a little bit. I think that's an important part of learning how to play.
Definitely. Yeah. I like to tell them the measurements between my ear and the other guy's ear when they're on defense needs to be within inches.
Yeah,
We want to be really close to each other, and that's, invading my personal space.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. And you also have to tell them to take that extra stroke. So a lot of times, like you're driving and I'm on defense and you stop and I think, oh, thank God Mark stopped. No, I have to take that extra stroke to come around and get in front of you to protect the cage. And that's really hard for them to do, an extra stroke drill. That's just a fundamental defensive concept. Extra stroke.
Okay, so we're going to go to Grand Rapids, Michigan together.
Yes.
For the NISCA conference, the National Interscholastic High School Coaches.
Yeah.
So what goodies are you going to share there?
You're going to see a teaching progression. You'll be able of doing the breaststroke kick, because I don't think most coaches know how to teach the breaststroke kick, and then you can't do the egg beater. We'll go over an egg beater. We'll do you'll understand why it's so difficult for kids. We'll go over the tripod, the side spider, some of the throwing mechanics that I think are unique. And you'll also have a chance to ask us questions and share with each other ideas. We've been coaching a long time, but I'm always learning, and I'm looking forward to finding out how other coaches are doing it, what's worked for them and what issues they're having. I'm really looking forward to it. I love talking with coaches and talking water polo.
And you've relocated from Northern California now to Eastern Florida.
Cocoa Beach.
What are you finding about water polo in Florida so far?
It's growing, but not in Brevard County where I am at. Brevard County, Florida. Swimming in Florida is really weird. I don't want my Florida coach brothers to see this and get mad at me, but swimming is weird. The pools are, the accessibility of the pools is not all there. There's some great coaches. There's some great swimmers. And where I'm at, there's no water polo. I'm doing a little bit at Cocoa Beach pool, and it's the first time. There was a master's program here about 6 years ago, and that was it. I love that it's getting bigger in the high schools. Coach Manny up in Jacksonville is doing an amazing job. I know Gainesville's got some good programs. Orlando's got some. I have yet to go to the high schools and see a game. Orlando's a good hour away, and the high schools are about an hour and a half away, so I haven't been able to see it. Wish I could answer that better, Mark.
Well, I think they play some in Florida. I mean, Miami too, right?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, Miami's about 4 hours away from me with traffic.
Okay.
I'm hanging out at the beach. I'm retired, hanging out at the beach, having fun, working on water polo and outer ball and stuff.
Okay, and then you said that you might have some goodies to share.
I do. So I have on Water Polo Consultants, I have a product. It's called Entry Level Water Polo, and it's about an 80-page ebook. I'm selling it for $34.95, and I'm offering a 40% discount. Then the code will be Mark40, and to get 40% off the price. So there's also another book which we haven't talked about, but let me just give you my soapbox. I see water polo coaches not doing a great job promoting the sport, promoting their teams. I think to me, they look like they're doing it from 1950, 1960. They don't know how to organize their team. They don't communicate with their team. And I think that's one reason why the sport has not grown. And it really bothers me. I also have, so there's another book in there called, what's it called? It's about setting up your team and all the things you need to do, communicating with your coaches, communicating with your parents, communicating with your board. How do you set it up? How do you market? It covers all of that. It's a high level. If you were just coaching a high school team, I don't think it would be appropriate. But if you're directing a club team where you have different coaches underneath you, then I think it's very, very worthwhile to read. And again, Mark 40 will get you 40% off. And if you purchase any of my products from my website, I will be there for you. If you have any questions, you money back guaranteed, but I don't care about the money. I care that if you have questions, you have problems, you want to discuss something. That's what I care about. And I am there for you. Just send me an email. We can get on Zoom. We can do it over phone. I really want to help. And that's really invaluable. I think if you get anything from this and you want to continue the discussion, I'm here for you.
And where do they go to look at these goodies?
Waterpoloconsultants.com.
Water Polo Consultants, no hyphen.
No hyphen, no nothing. And
word.
it's right on the top menu. You'll see products, and click on the products, and it'll take you to a sales page through PayHip. And if you get there and you have any questions, just email me. I don't think my phone number's in there because you get a lot of spam. But email me and we'll start a relationship. I'm also on LinkedIn and Facebook. So there's Water Polo Consultants Facebook page. There's entry-level water polo coaches group, which is a great group, and I'm trying to build that. I would love you to come and join that group and get in the discussion. Water polo coaches tend to be isolated, or like medieval knights where we don't want to talk and make a real country. I think the more we help each other, support each other, share ideas, the better our teams will be. And if you can steal something from me and make your team better, then my team will get better because your team got better. The old philosophy is what I don't want you to grow and be good because you'll be ahead of me. But I do not believe in that philosophy. We need to work together to build the sport, help each other, help our kids, and we're going to have a great sport. The newest thing is new sports for kids. Water polo should be growing. It should be monstrous. Same with aquatics, and we got to do it.
Yeah, definitely. It's the cooperative thing, and then you're competing, and oftentimes at the event itself, people are too wired. There's the games and the officials and the dynamics of the fans and your players, and it would seem like that would be a good time to share. But and you do pick up some things while the tournaments are going on, but really, if you can set aside some time to then visit, at a clinic or on a Zoom call, and really start to put your brains into that learning mode, I think is very valuable for coaches. And I hope we can get some coaches coming together in Grand Rapids and this year at NISCA, maybe next year as well as in Houston later in September.
Yeah.
When, there's the All Things Aquatics event.
Water polo really needs to come together to help each other out. The swimming has ASCA. They have this huge conference every year, and coaches come from all over. Where's water polos? Well, there's a Facebook group for swim coaches. Mark, do you remember the name of it?
Coaches Idea Exchange.
Yeah, Coaches Idea Exchange. There's 20,000 coaches sharing ideas. Where's the water polo group? I got one. And it's nobody's making comments and supporting it. I think it's kind of weird. And I don't think that's just America. I think that's everywhere. The Europeans, I will say Barcelona is doing a pretty good job of promoting the sport. They're promoting their program, and they are. I think Barcelona is doing a really, really good job of that. They're one of the few. We need to do it. If you don't do it, if you're listening to this and you're not trying to make the sport better by connecting with other water polo coaches, I think you're making a huge mistake.
Yeah, and the thing that we've found in Pittsburgh is once you've played water polo, perhaps at college or in a club setting, or even when you were a 12-year-old, abroad, it's in your blood. And the adults, the masters teams, are a really good source. Our adults play in the summer 2 times a week, and they travel a little bit. Just a week or 2 ago, a bunch of them went up to Cleveland, or they'll travel to Washington, D.C. They'll travel 4 or 5 hours. Sometimes they'll even go to Florida and play. And it's one of these sports that it's once it's in your blood, it's going to stay prominent. And if you're going to build a program from scratch, it would do wonders to get the adults on board too. So there will be the people that can then be the officials or the board members, but if you can service some of the playing opportunities for adults, then hopefully they can then see that as a service opportunity then to go down and help the younger kids too.
Did you see that picture of the over 80 men's water polo team?
No.
Those guys were beasts. It was just amazing. And then there was a video of a New Zealand masters water polo team for women. So it was kind of like aqua size, but they were playing water polo and throwing the ball. They had their hats on. It was awesome. They're having a great time.
Fabulous.
You could play for quite a while.
Yeah, and the way that even the adults buck up against the college kids or the high school kids, and they, the water makes it an equalizer, and you could never do that in like basketball, where there's, your body takes a different type of beating.
Well, once you learn how to do tripod and egg beater in the right position, you learn how to do the right kick, you'll be smoking all the young guys that aren't doing it.
Yes. Okay, well, hopefully we can get some people out to the events and learning and studying water polo. And I do have a book too, and we're going to be putting this online with our learning management system. So that gets a little more into the technical. And I think that there's another opportunity too, where you're a swim coach and you know all the IMs and the strokes and the energy systems. And now it would be fabulous to be able to offer a water polo opportunity for your kids.
Yeah, can I backtrack? There's one thing I forgot to say that I think is really important. As water polo coaches, we're used to watching above the water. Where's the ball going? Where's the body moving and everything else? But the secret is what's under the water. Look at their legs, look at their feet, look at their body position. You can't tell what they're doing above the water, but underwater you can tell. And that's what's going to determine their performance. If they make a bad pass, 90% of the time it's because their body position was in the wrong spot. If the ball goes over the cage when they shoot, I guarantee you they didn't have their back leg back into fork position. I guarantee it. They caught the ball, they leaned back and they threw it. If the ball goes spinning to the side and doesn't go where it's going, it's because they put the ball behind their head. And you can look at their legs and you can just completely tell. So get used to looking underwater. It's amazing.
Fabulous. Have a good day. Thanks for sharing all your insights.
Thanks.
Waterpoloconsultants.com.
Thanks, Mark.
You're welcome. Thank you.